Okay, Miss Jen Schaefer.
Hi.
Hi, we're coming up on your 2-year anniversary almost with Exum Group.
Mm-hmm.
It's been an incredible journey. It's been beautiful for me to watch you. And I recall when you first started with us, you had like a safety job on the side just in case this didn't go according to plan. And as these 2 years have gone by, you left that behind this year. You burned the boat, as we like. So talk to me about that. How did you come to that decision? What led you there? What was that like?
Well, I think getting into real estate, I always knew that was going to be the end goal, to only have the one job, right? But being a single mom, you have to really be meticulous with your money. You have to know where you're going. So I kept that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny because it's really not a safety net, right? When I look back at it, I was serving when I got into real estate. I was serving. So when I look back at it, I'm like, I'm still fluctuating money. I never know what I'm going to go home with that day.
Yeah.
It was so much uncertainty. And I just got to thinking, like, why am I going to spend 8 hours not knowing if I'm going to get $5 today when I could be spending 8 hours prospecting or building relationships or whatever to maybe get a $5,000 paycheck that day. Like every day I wasn't showing up to real estate, I was really losing.
Right.
So
that's so insightful because I think the tricky thing for so many new agents who come into the industry and have multiple jobs as they're trying to get started is, a lot of us have to do that. We don't have the luxury of leaving behind a steady paycheck, if you will.
Sure.
Although that wasn't a steady paycheck, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
But it takes you away from your ability to invest in your real estate career, and to turn it over, you do have to have hours to invest.
You do.
Yeah. Was there a turning point for you?
Turning point. I mean, it was on my radar, and I think looking back, I did not like going into that serving job. I mean, and even when I was in that serving job, it was so overwhelming because I was still trying to answer client phone calls because at the end of the day, I knew that was my goal. I wanted my clients to know, like, I'm still fully 100% available to you. So I might be serving a table and my phone would ring and I would, finish up, but run away to go take a phone call
or
priority. Reply to an email or, put out a fire because there were fires happening when I was, clocked in somewhere else, So it really became overwhelming with that part of the job, trying to juggle it. And I knew that my clients just needed me, really.
Right.
And I needed to leave so that way I could really devote that time. And I have not looked back. I have not thought about it twice. It has been liberating.
I love that. And I know our whole team was so excited for you when you decided to take that step and leave that behind because we knew you've got this. You've had an incredible 2025. You quadrupled your business this year.
I did.
How does that feel?
I could do better.
I love it.
I'm coming up on year 3, I guess. Year 2 really is an anniversary if we're not looking at calendar years, but calendar years, year 3, right? And year 3, I'm ready to up the game. I'm all in this year.
Yeah.
For all year.
You got the bug now, which is what happens. You get the real estate bug. Yeah.
It's addicting. I'm just so happy. I'm so blessed. I have so many people that have helped me get to that point. So, everything from we've had coaches, we have family and friends that support, marital spouses, everyone's supporting. But then we also have a team of women that's not only encouraging, but they're there to help. We got Stephanie with marketing. We've got Riley on transactions. And you've been my mentor since literally the day I came out the gate. I sent you that text and I was like, will you please take me on your team?
Of course I would. Yeah.
But it's been great. And I've got the support and that's really, they say it takes a village to raise a kid, but it really takes a village to raise your real estate business.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
There's so much involved in it. I think often, especially new agents coming into the business, don't understand all of the moving parts. There's lead generation to go get clients who want to work with you. There's the process of helping them find something to buy or the process of getting them sold. There's a million moving parts behind the scenes with paperwork and coordination with lender and title and all the people that are involved. And then there's all the marketing piece and the social media stuff and the website things and all of that is a whole nother thing. So
Yeah.
for one person to do that, it's impossible. And my opinion is that it's impossible without leverage or support from the team.
Well, and especially as a new agent, I knew because I shadowed some realtors. I interviewed teams. I interviewed solo agents before I got into really got licensed and knew where I was going. But you don't really learn how to talk to clients or write a contract in real estate school, right? And so to practice real estate means you are literally learning through fire. You're walking through the fire. You're learning as you go. You're jumping hurdles. And it can be so overwhelming and so scary not having people on your side. And so I knew immediately I needed a team. I couldn't be one of those people that are just, ballsy and go solo right out the gate.
Winging
that wasn't
it.
going to be me. That was not going to be me. I needed a team. I needed support. I needed encouragement. And that's exactly what I got when I sat down for coffee with you, but all the days after.
Yeah. Well, I knew up front that you'd be a superstar. I just felt like you have a zest about you, a zest for life and a joy. And you're maternal and warm in terms of how you take care of people in your world and how I knew you would take care of your clients. So I'm not shocked at all to see how you have had success, especially in this past year. But it's so rewarding for me to see it happen because I know how hard you're working and how hard the team is working, of course, to support as well. It's just beautiful to see it happen. And I think you're really smart to point out sort of the mental component of it all. Real estate is a mental game. It's all about your mentality and your mindset and all of those things. So that's another piece of the team that I think people don't always realize or put a value on is how important it is to keep your head strong because this is not for the weak and we have our hard days, but you can't let a hard day be a hard week, be a hard month, be a hard year.
Right. You're exactly right. I'll never forget my first listing. Well, my first listing was actually my mom.
Right.
So that one went a little bit easier.
She's a good one to practice on.
Yeah. So, she knew I was learning.
Yeah.
But my first real, I went out there, I found you in the wild and now you're listing with me, client. I was so stressed. I was so anxious. I wanted to do so well and I wanted to prove that my pricing strategy was right and I knew what I was doing. And every second that listing was live, I was literally shaking. I was falling apart inside. And I would come into the office and everyone was like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And well, it sold within a week. So it was fine.
Yeah.
But that week was the longest year of my life.
And now you're ready to do more.
Yeah. Come on, listing.
So with such an incredible year of 2025, now we're into the new year 2026, and we're always looking forward, moving forward at a million miles a minute. So what do you envision for your 2026? What goals do you have? Where do you want to be?
Well, I am taking this as year 3 because I'm now going by calendar years, right? So year 3, I really am playing on those 3s. So in the previous years as a new agent, I was really focused on the units because more units means the more knowledge I was gaining, and every single house I sold, every single deal, every single contract I wrote was so different than the one before, the one after.
True.
So this year, I was really playing on those 3s. I am focused on year 3 and 30 units, which
Love it.
is actually doubling my business from this year.
If you can quadruple, you can sure as heck double.
I think so. I think so. So we're on, we're going to work on that. And then upping that price point too. That not a lot, but I'm aiming for the 300,000s for my average price point. So that's really my vision for this year, to maintain that growth and learn how to balance my time with my clients and investing that in back into the business.
I love that. And the 300,000s thing is totally feasible because we know that's really about our average price point in Louisville, Kentucky is about 300,000, varying by zip code and things like that. But I think that is totally more than achievable. And what I love so much about you and about our team is that we embrace every price point, right? So we're happy to help the first-time home buyer who might have a more reasonable budget versus someone who's going to buy their $1 million mansion. We serve it all, which is
absolutely
awesome.
I mean, I sold a house this year that was under 100,000.
Right.
I'm not turning that away.
Of course not.
But especially my first-time home buyers, I have a soft spot for them because they know nothing. And I would rather them be with someone who's a little bit more hands-on, caring, is going to make sure that they're going to get to that finish line. It's not just another number, to say, oh, you're not pre-approved for what I want to work on, so I'm going to pass you off to someone else I know. So I'm still going to obviously work with those first-time home buyers, but this year I'm also very much so focused on the first-time home sellers. So those first-time home buyers that have purchased and now they're ready to move to their next home.
Yes.
That's a focus for me this year.
That's great. Because the first-time seller is very similar to the first-time buyer. Selling is extremely different in comparison to buying. And so they do still require that, mentorship as you offer, and just trust. They need you. They need the guidance.
Yeah, absolutely. Hand-holding. We're good at hand-holding.
So I know over the years we've talked about your demographic, like your people, and you've always been very, very passionate about first-time home buyers. You've also really done a bit with investing. You're an investor yourself, and you like to work with investors.
Yeah.
Is that a goal still in 2026?
Absolutely. I've got a couple investors I'm still working with, and working on another investment property for myself as well. So that will always be there. Happy to talk investment anytime.
For people that are interested in working with you in 2026 for their real estate goals and needs, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Well, you can find me just about anywhere. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can always call me, 859-319-8554.
She's got some really fun TikToks, y'all. Follow her on TikTok. For our Exum Group clients that may not be familiar with you, why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. I am Jen Schaefer. I'm a realtor on the Exum team with Keller Williams Collective.
When you first began your journey towards real estate, I know you sat down and talked with multiple brokerages, multiple team owners. There's a million options out there.
Yeah.
I know why you landed on Exum Group. We connected. We had a vibe. It's good. It's been beautiful. But why Keller Williams?
I mean, really very similar reasons as, why Exum Group, because there was leverage there was help there was support, there was trainings. They also have a good name for themselves.
I also love that we have we're a bigger brokerage, and because of that, there's always people available to help. So if you are taking your family vacation for the year and you need help showing a property, if I can't do it, we have plenty of other people who can help us out so that our buyer is never missing out.
Yeah, that's a benefit of being on a team as well as a larger brokerage. I mean, I just popped that question there. I mean, just this Sunday. Sunday, I'm headed to the Bahamas, and I needed coverage for some showings, and I found it.
Teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work.